What's up? I'm Angie, and you are listening to Podcast That Pays, the podcast for online business owners who want to grow their business and sell their offers using podcasting. If you like no fluff, tell it like it is advice from a marketing-loving podcast agency owner, you are in the right place. So glad you're here. Let's dive in. Testing. How's this sound? Good? Okay, because at this very second, I am sitting in my closet on a stack of pillows and lots of unfolded clothes with my pup next to me, and I have my phone, my straight up iPhone, and I'm sitting here looking at my laptop, looking at my notes, and I'm recording straight onto the voice app on my Apple phone. Go ahead, clutch your pearls. I know. I'm a podcasting abomination, literally. This is why I always say that like real podcasters and people in the podcast industry hate me. And I don't hang out with them much because, and that's not necessarily true. Nobody hates me. How could you? But I just don't play by the rules, right? And listen, if producing over 70 podcasts in the last year for busy business owners has taught me anything, it's that we are busy. Hence the busy. And one of the best gifts I can give to my clients is giving them the motherfucking permission to show up however. And yes, that means in bed, in the closet, without having to sit at a desk, without having to have fancy equipment, and just getting it done. Getting it done. And yeah, it's a big deal because what happens is a lot of people let so many things, and this is another thing that I've learned over the year of producing. This past year has been a lot of big learnings for me. But another thing that I've really learned is that people will make any excuse to not get their podcast done. There's so many barriers. And I felt this myself because this second podcast that I've done has been a long time coming for me. So I understand what it feels like to be in that position. I understand what it feels like to continue to put it off. I understand what it feels like to let little things get in your way. And I just remember when I was first starting out and just doing coaching and consulting, I remember the amount of people that would tell me that they were waiting on their equipment to get their podcast done. And it just boggled my mind because I had done everything from my phone. And I didn't have a producer. Now I have a producer. But I had done everything on my phone by myself, recorded a podcast every single day, and I was getting such great results. And I couldn't understand why people would let something as trivial, in my opinion, as trivial as having a podcast mic setup keep them from doing the thing that they know that they want to do or need to do. And I mean years. Hey, if you're listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, I really need to up my podcasting game, or you want to start utilizing your show more for your business to get more leads and sell more offers, then I want you to come over to podcastthatpays.com and check out the Podcast Collab Lab. That's podcastthatpays.com and check out what we're doing over there. I would love you to join us. Okay, back to the show. And so there's lots of barriers that come up against you. And all I'm saying is that this should not be one of them. Having equipment should not be one of them. There's lots of ways that you can get decent sound quality. Then having to go invest money in something that you don't even know if you're going to be consistent with, okay, number one, and waiting for that to come or waiting to have it in your budget and all of that. You can sit in your closet. Closets have great sound quality. And often it is unless you have a really, really, really good mic, so unless you're spending hundreds, okay, the mics that are out there are not much better quality than this telephone. I have mics. I have a mic that plugs into my phone. I have, my first mic that everyone told me to get was the Blue Yeti mic. I have tested my phone and the Blue Yeti mic, and they sound the same. I should actually go plug my mic up right now and show you. But I don't need to, because I know that they sound pretty similar. And what makes the biggest difference is your surrounding at that level of microphone where you record, making sure that you're in a place, or that you throw a bunch of blankets on the ground, or you hang up some sheets on your window, or you put some pillows around your desk, like where you're recording. That makes more of a difference. And I want you to check yourself. So what I'm saying, if this is something that is holding you back, I don't want it to hold you back. I want you to be able to get it done. I don't want you to use this as a crutch of not getting it done. This is going to be a really short episode, but I felt like it was necessary for me to say this because this is something that holds people back. And I am all about, let's remove every single barrier. Lots of times clients come to me and they're like, I want to do YouTube at the same time as I'm launching this. And you know how often that works out for people? I don't think I've had one client do it successfully. And you want to know why? Because it takes more effort, it's harder, it takes more time. You have to, if you're doing YouTube and you're going on video, you have to get dressed up. Whereas I can sit here in the closet looking like shit. Nobody will know except, now I'm telling you that. But I can still get it done without having to be presentable. It's the same with doing interviews. The easiest, quickest way to get this done, if you're struggling, is not to do interviews, not to try to do anything on video. It's just to do it yourself and get it done and get it out. Then you can add those components later. But what I've learned is people will use those things as crutches and excuses to getting it done. Now, does sound quality matter? Yes, please don't be in your bathroom and sound like you're on the toilet taking a shit while you're doing it, right? Don't sound like you're driving. Even though in my last podcast, I literally did a segment that was thoughts from my morning commute where I talked and I drove. Did the sound quality sound like shit? Hell yeah. Did I get it done? Did I get my shit out there? Yep. Did I still get a good response? Yep. Do I recommend that? I recommend that you try. Because it does make a difference. It does. I'm not saying that. So if you're a podcast person, an editor, and even my editor listening to this, my producer, I do care about sound, okay? Like, I'm not the anti-sound person. I just care more about moving the blocks and the resistance out of my client's way and giving them permission to do this in the easiest, most efficient way possible so that they will launch their freaking podcast and not be sitting on this for years and years and years and years and years. Okay? The end. Use your phone if you don't have fancy equipment. If you not sure if you can commit, do this first, record a solo episode, get it done. You can get good sound quality. You can do it. I promise. You can do it in the easiest way. Record in your bed. Say what's coming from your heart. Even though I have templates and templates and templates on templates on templates on templates of how to map your episodes out. I have recordings and videos and trainings of how to actually record from your phone to make it sound decent. But if you don't even have that, it's just getting started. I much rather you focus on the marketing and the conversions and the selling portion than this. Okay? The end. End of the story. Come find me on Instagram and say hi. I love you. Thank you for listening to this bullshit short episode about all to tell you that I'm recording from my phone, and I thought it was pretty clever to do an episode like this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, head over to podcastthatpays.com to get started on your way to creating a podcast that pays. And don't forget to follow this show and take a screenshot that you were listening and tag me on Instagram at Angie M. Jordan. I'd love to meet you and show you some love over there. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. Let's get this money.